Hey y'all, so we are back with another video. This will be episode 3 of season 10 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's pretty much the same BS, different people, another episode. Let's get into it. So we begin the episode with Ken, Marquez, and Trish all fighting. It's gotten physical. Ken then put his paws on Marquez, and Trish is just like, oh my gosh, stop it, while over there cheesing, because Trish is like, see, I knew it was going to go this way. And Ken was like, yep, you said it. And Trish is just cheesing because Trish is the one who put this energy out there. Like she said earlier, the friend fed off of Trish's energy. The friend never gave the energy on her own. Like, that was the energy that she had got from Trish. So when it comes to Ken's energy and Marquez's energy, everybody's feeding off of Trish, because Trish is the one with this negative energy, went into the whole thing with negative energy, trying to say, well, I don't want you around, and so I'm making my mission for you to not be around me or the kids anymore. And now that Ken is here, Ken is going to be the father in these kids' lives, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And Marquez is just sitting around like, I'm not finna stand for that. I'm not going for that. Like, y'all gonna have to figure out a different game plan, because these boundaries and these roles y'all talking about, Ken is not going to be able to fulfill long term. Like, what's going to happen when Marquez is officially out of the picture as far as their relationship, and Ken and Trish have their own fights? Because Ken, I don't know why he thinks that he doesn't fight with Trish, because they do fight. They do argue. Just last season, they were arguing over Martell and whether or not Trish lied about sleeping with him, and whether or not Trish was lying about texting Marquez trying to get back with him. So it's not like y'all would never fight once Marquez is out the picture. Marquez was out the picture last season when it came to the Martell stuff, and y'all was still fighting. So whenever it's going to be another man in the situation, it's always going to be an issue. So it has nothing to do with the kids. The way they always try to be like, oh, the kids, ain't nothing wrong with the kids ain't traumatized. The son had to come from downstairs to check on his dad to see what was going on. Like, these kids are involved. These kids are traumatized. These kids do feel some type of way. You cannot sit here and tell this man about how his children feel about him when the boy you said is your family went out to go check on his father after you put your paws on him. Your family left you, didn't check on you, and went to go check on their father. So you can't sit here and tell me, this is my family, they care more about me than they do you, and you just a filler when you around, and when you not, I'm going to be the one that is their shoulder to cry on. Girl, Ken, ain't nobody finna keep playing with you in this whole, I want to be these kids' stepdaddy, but I don't want their real daddy in their life, because if they real daddy in their life, then I'm going to feel threatened, like I can easily be replaced. Obviously, look how quick Trish replaced her husband. So yeah, if you as the living boyfriend, I would feel threatened too once the husband does come back, because it's like, okay, she's never divorced him. I'm the one who's telling her to divorce him, not her saying, oh, I sent him the papers and he just never signed them. That wasn't the case. It was neither party had filed for divorce. So yeah, there could have always been a possibility that Trish was going to go back to Marquez, and I can understand why Ken will feel threatened every time Marquez comes around, because every time Marquez comes around, Trish starts acting differently. Trish changes her moods. Trish is the one putting this energy out there. Marquez ain't shit. We all know that. That's obvious. He left. He's not like the is all be all when it comes to who's going to be a real man in the situation. Nobody is trying to deny that Marquez ain't shit. But what we're saying is, y'all making up lies trying to say that Marquez is not doing this, that, and the third. And then when he does try to do it, here go another reason of why he ain't again. Like, you can't sit here and say, are you coming to the dance recital tomorrow? And then he said, absolutely. And he said, didn't I give you money? Oh, that's $500. Everybody know dance ain't just $500, but dang, did you want $1 million? Even if he gave you $1 million and the shirt off his back, y'all would still find a way to make Marquez feel like shit when it comes to this daughter. And I'm so over it. Like, I'm so glad the friend was there, because if the friend wasn't there, it would have literally been Marquez, Trish, and Ken all coming up with a story that wasn't going to be the truth. Especially Ken and Trish. Ken and Trish were going to be the ones that are like, oh yeah, he came in, he jumped up in Ken's face, and I had to hold Ken back. No, you had to hold Ken back because Ken kept jumping up. Kid kept jumping up, getting in this man's face. We cannot sit here and deny that. He did it twice. I think 3 times. Then said, if you don't get out, I'm going to put you out. That's, yeah, come on, Ken. Like, there's no way for y'all to spin this. So we get to the Airbnb that everybody says Maurice and Kimmy is staying at. And Kimmy is on the phone with Tisha saying that she needs to have her annual ladies get together without the man because, you know, Kimmy, who doesn't think that women can get along and have a good time without the men, is saying that she does an annual ladies get together without the men because they haven't seen each other since LA. That's because these people aren't friends. You haven't seen each other since LA because y'all aren't cool and y'all aren't hanging out together. I would have expected her to at least been hanging out with Tisha because aren't they sisters? Or are y'all competing with each other because Kimmy is trying to open up Jordan Lane and Tisha has Black, which is successful? And then was they in Monaco or was they like in Monaco, Alabama? I don't know. The Scott's allegedly doing all this stuff. Scott's 1.0. Scott's 2.0 not really doing as much. That's why Maurice is encouraging Kimmy to be better than Tisha, because we have to be better than Tisha. If we be better than Tisha, then we can be better than Mel. And so we want Kimmy to be the next Mel of the show. So we have to push Kimmy doing all these things: restaurant, real estate, not really being a nurse anymore, being a mom to Monster and Jalen, being Kimmy's wife. She got a lot of hats on just like Tisha. Tisha got Black, the Scott Realty, Marceau, the other little girls, the son, like same. So they're competing with each other just like they was competing with Mel. Then they sit down and around the fire. It was a cute little setup, I'm not gonna lie. It could have been a little more, you know. They didn't have no food. They was just drinking tea by the fire for date night, which is cute, but it's not really date night. I would expect it at least like a glass of wine by the fire and a cheese board or something. Like, they was doing nothing but talking about their businesses and the kids. Like, Maurice wants to start a family business with the whole family. But then Kimmy mentions how Jalen doesn't look at him as a father. So how can we do a family business and my son don't even consider you a father? Maurice is a little thrown by the comment because he's like, wait, what do you mean Jalen doesn't consider me a father? And it flashes to a scene that Jalen and Kimmy shot. Jalen is like, yeah, I kind of really just saw him as a homeboy, not really a father. Granted, that do sound kind of messed up, but I'm just like, if Maurice is admitting that he's not doing much, then yeah, the boy's not going to look at you as a father. Like, he's going to look at you as an older brother or a mentor or a homeboy, which is what he said that Maurice felt like to him, a homeboy. And I mean, if I was Maurice, I would feel some type of way, but I would feel some type of way about the fact that I made the child feel that way. Not because the child saying this made me feel a way because I felt like I did all I could do. When your kid says that they feel like you didn't do enough, you shouldn't feel no type of way towards the child. Instead, just try to hear them out and see why they even felt the way that they felt, instead of trying to jump down their throat and make them feel like, oh, well, I did this, that, and the third, so why you can't just appreciate that? Because that's not all it takes. Whatever happened to Jalen's dad, he's not in the picture. So when it comes to you and him and y'all relationship, it was more than just telling him to do chores and to be responsible. To be a father figure, you are more than that. And a father figure is different than a dad, because a dad is your dad. Like, even if it's your stepdad, your dad is your dad. Your dad is the person that you calling dad. Like, hey, dad, I need help, blah, blah, blah. Your father figure is somebody like, hey, I could use some advice. Clearly, Jalen's not calling Maurice for either. So Maurice is feeling slighted, but it's like, who would want to get advice from Maurice when Maurice don't even act on his own advice? There's constantly rumors about him cheating on his wife. He's getting arrested for DUIs. We haven't seen him win a case. He can't even win his own cases against the bloggers. Only case he's won was the DUI, and that was because he allegedly didn't take the breathalyzer. Yeah, he's not going to feel that type of way towards you. Like, a conversation should be had, but you shouldn't be getting upset off of what somebody else done told you. So we get to the real mentors, the Fletchers, right? And they're talking about how Mr. Fletcher needs to fix up the daycare so they can get some stars and more certifications for their daycare. Because with more certifications comes with money. And in Alabama, we need these kids to get this money for this funding, for this primary education, for this daycare, after school education. These kids need their funding, and I'm all for them when it comes to that. So they talk about how Kimmy called Nell. Fletcher was like, what Kimmy call you for? Because you know I done said some shit about her husband. I'm trying to see what's really tea. And Nell's like, no, they just called because she wanted to link up later on, because I ain't talked to them since LA. They ain't talked to me since LA. Allegedly, none of them talked to each other since LA. So Kimmy just wanted to get everybody together so we can all touch bases. Fletcher's like, well, have you talked to Tisha? You know I talked about her husband too. And Nell's like, no, I ain't say nothing to Tisha. She ain't said nothing to me. She was quiet in LA. Tisha's mouth works when it's time to say something to Mel, when she was allegedly accusing Mel of texting Marceau, and it was just like, hey Marceau, good job on your jobs. And Marceau was like, thanks, you too. But you know, that was inappropriate. And so then they get to Destiny, and why Destiny and Nell are still not cool. And Nell is like, it probably still got everything to do with Lance. That was the whole reason why we didn't really mesh last season. And when it comes to that, I understand exactly what Nell is saying when she says that, because Kimmy said the same exact thing. What was that, season 6, season 7, when Destiny was dating Jalen, who's my age, and I'm 28, and Destiny is like 42. Kimmy ain't like that either. Kimmy and Destiny was about to fall out over somebody else's son that Destiny was dating. Destiny has dated multiple sons on this show, and feels like her friend, who is the son that she's dating's mother, should take her side when it comes to her relationship involving their son. And I'm just like, that'll never happen in a million years, regardless of who it is. No mother is finna side with the girlfriend over their son. Like, everybody knows about boy moms, right? So if everybody knows about boy moms and shade boy moms, what make you think a boy mom finna take your old ass side over their young ass sons? No one. What you talking about? Like, you still mad over the Sonny and Moses stuff. She mad over the Sonny and Moses stuff last season. Mad over the Lent stuff last season. But then want to carry it to this season because Destiny has no storyline because Mel's not here. You can't get mad at Nell because Nell was like, I don't think you should be with my son. You felt some type of way about that, and then her son pop up with a baby, and now you feel some type of way because she ain't say, hey, my son got a baby. She already told you shouldn't be with her son. And instead, you chose to go in with her son anyways. Even when she didn't even know that you and her son were dating, you was like, hey, mother-in-law, hey, mother-in-law. Nell's supposed to just ride with that and be like, oh, yeah, Destiny messing with my son. That's so cute and cool and funny. No, it ain't. It isn't. Not when you're going through a nasty divorce and you're constantly in court with your ex-husband. Nobody wants their son involved in nothing like that. I wouldn't want my daughter involved in nothing like that, including you. If you were my daughter, I wouldn't want you involved with the stuff that you got going on with your ex-husband. Like, that's a sad situation. So why would anybody want to put an extra person in that situation for them to be kin? Nobody want their son to be kin when it comes to you and your ex-husband. So yeah, people are going to have reservations about you dating their sons. Like, you shouldn't date your friend's sons in the first place. Right? Okay. So we get to the dinner, right? Trish immediately starts lying and says the whole lie about the Ken and Marquez thing. How Marquez bust through the door the other day with the friend. Saying that he was lying about helping the daughter, saying he got into it with the friend, and everybody's just like, oh my God, no, Marquez, that's so disrespectful. I'm scared for you, Trish. Like, that is scary. That is so crazy. Whole time, Ken and Trish was the one who escalated it. That's besides the point. Then Kimmy mentions the fact that Jalen considers Marceau more of a father figure than Maurice, and Tisha, who's still stuck on her son, saying that he was a pillar in his life and that Tisha was just the line that kept him straight, is confused because she's like, Marceau? Why does everybody consider Marceau the main guy when I'm the one doing all the work? Kimmy the one doing all the work. Why is Marceau? Tisha literally was like, Marceau? Tisha was like, Marceau? Like, I get it, Tisha. I get it. Marceau, who almost killed your son? Yeah, I don't get why anybody would consider Marceau a father figure. But Marceau is the one who's more so, like, hands-on with the boys. Granted, he don't he's not like parenting them for real. But he is more hands-on. He is more hands-on when it comes to like holding these young men accountable, and like all of the young men. Tisha even said Marcel and Tisha be saying that Jalen is Marcel's oldest son. If Marcel considers Jalen his oldest son, then yes, Jalen is going to consider Marcel a father figure. Marcel considers Jalen his son. And honestly, I don't really see why Maurice would be so upset, because at least it's not just some random guy. Like, at least it's not like a Ken where you a Marquez and your son is like, oh yeah, I see my mama boyfriend as more of a father figure to me than you, who my actual dad. Or if Ken finally marries Trish ever in life and they gravitate to his family if he has one, and will he feel some type of way? Like, you can't sit here, like, all of this stuff is just, you got to be doing more than just paying money for these kids to actually consider you doing something for them. Like, these kids today, and I'm one of them, and I ain't even gonna put myself in it, but this generation is more so like, okay, you provided for me and I'm thankful for that, but that was all you've done. And if I wasn't here, you would have done that for yourself, right? Then Tisha decides to be like, so Nell, why we ain't see you in LA, and why you ain't hang out with none of us in LA? You was gone, you left early. Nell said, we wanted to hang out because Lance wanted to hang with Ken, but then he got a call, said, baby on the way. He was confused, we was confused, so we all left. Tisha's like, what? Are you kidding me? So nobody knew? I saw it on social media. Kimmy's like, yeah, we all did, because Tisha sent it to me. I know Tisha sent it to me. And Trish, allegedly she's Fletcher's cousin, and so I'm sure she saw it. And then she was like, yeah, she had two at the same time. And Nell's like, not two at the same time. Hold on, you don't know my business. It's not two at the same time. And Trish's like, yeah, because it was a month apart. And Nell's like, no, slow your roll. It was not a month apart. It was 5. So, mind your business. Did you mess with Martell or not? Did you sleep with him or not? You worry about the wrong thing. And Tisha's just like, oh, so you ain't know? How you ain't know? And you was trying to get him with Destiny. How you wanted Lance and Destiny to be together when you knew he had a whole baby on the way? I'm just shy. You ain't even know for real. And then it was just like, first of all, I said at the reunion before Lance got the call that I wasn't feeling him and Destiny no more. So let's cut all that out. I said at my vow renewal I wasn't feeling Lance and Destiny no more when Destiny was trying to talk up my godson. It had nothing to do with the fact that Lance had a baby on the way, and I knew. And even if I did know or not, I told Destiny, don't mess with my son. You should keep my son off your radar. You should get with somebody more so aligned with you. Just because Lance got kids don't mean y'all on the same wavelength. Like, come on. You can't get mad at that. You mad over the Sonny and Moses thing, even though Moses had a whole wife in between you and Sonny. Moses had a whole wife. But you mad that Moses married somebody that wasn't you, when you named your son the name that you and Moses came up with when you had a baby with somebody else that you was married to. Both of y'all was married. So shut up, Destiny. You're mad over stuff that is stupid. So Nelly Nell decides to flip the script and say, since we talking about stuff we heard on social media, Tisha, Kimmy, social media, what about that YouTube interview that Martell Coleslaw did with the light-skinned girl? Tisha's like, well, how did you feel about it? Nell looking like, I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I was, what she said, blown away. And Trisha don't got a mind of her own unless it's talking about Marquez to make lies about. I did too. Then Nell was like, I don't feel no type of way because that ain't my husband. Exactly, Nell. It's not your husband. It's not Trisha's husband to be like, I was blown away. We all felt the same way when we saw that interview. The same way we felt when we saw the back picture. The same way we felt when Martell said he was sleeping with the 20 women. The same way we felt when they said that Kimmy was a side chick, and you was like, yeah, Kimmy, wasn't you a side chick to Maurice and Kiowa? Because I was like, Kimmy a hoe. Didn't you say that, Tisha, season whatever in Vegas? That was season 4, 5. In Vegas, it was in the hot tub with Martell co-signing everything he said when you was like, Kimmy was a side chick to Maurice. We felt the same way. That was the way we felt. We felt the same way. The same way when they said that Maurice was sleeping with the linebackers. The girl looked like a linebacker. So when Kimmy was like, I was just looking like, ain't no way he cheated with that, because look at that. Nah, bro. Yeah, Kimmy, you look amazing. Kimmy, you look amazing. You look amazing. Amazing for everything that you have gone through. But let's not act like there wasn't allegations of him cheating with undesirable women before, i.e. the linebackers. And he didn't confirm nor deny. He just answered around it. He's not too far from what that girl looked like. And who's to say that girl wasn't 100 pounds lighter when they did their deal back then? Just because she's built that way now, you think that he's not going to mess with somebody like that because she's built a certain way or because she looks a certain way? Men will cheat with the ugliest thing around just so he can be like, why would I cheat with somebody that look like that and you look the way you do? So women can believe, why would he cheat with somebody that look like that when I look the way I do? He ain't going to do that to me. That's the whole reason why he did that. So he can do that to you. Duh. Like, that's just stupid to even think. Then they all say, oh, okay, well, we just not going to talk about each other behind each other's backs no more because that just hurts each other's feelings and we be feeling some type of way. And if you want to get in with us instead of being rotated with these other people that we be bringing in and out of the cast, well, really Mel brings in and out the cast because Tisha and Kimmy ain't brought in no friends yet. So if y'all want to be continued in this never-ending cycle of couples, y'all better be on our side day in and day out. And everybody's just like, okay, yeah, y'all right. We'll do it. We'll do whatever y'all say. Because we want to be in the clique. We want to be on the show. We don't want to leave. I got an ex-husband to fight. I got a divorce to finalize. I got a boyfriend who lives in this house that may or may not be staying with me in the long run, and I'm gonna have to pay the bill. So yeah, I do need to be on this show. The Fletchers, it is helping them in their daycare. They do need to be on the show. It is a branding, a commercial. Granted, the only people that uses it as a commercial was Mel and Marceau, but now it's just Marceau, and the Fletchers are using this same platform in the same way as like, we could use this low-key as a commercial for us and our businesses. So why not just be in with y'all, so regardless if we're in or out, we could still be on this show and make money. I don't blame them for disagreeing, but I blame them for agreeing because y'all are stupid and nobody would want to agree with stupid people. But I guess you do whatever for a check. Look at me making a dang YouTube video. Then we get to Maurice and Jalen, and this is why I feel like this is where I started to feel like the whole Jalen doesn't see Maurice as a father figure storyline to ring true, like it's actually real life situation instead of just a storyline. Because every time we flash to a clip of Jalen speaking on it, Jalen's always like looking like, yeah, because I just kind of felt like he was a father figure more so than you, because like you did you did this and then yeah and blah blah blah. Jalen was looking around like he was trying to remember his lines. So it was giving to me, I was like, this is fake. This ain't real. This ain't real. At first, I was like, yeah, I could see that because Maurice didn't marry Kimmy until after Jalen graduated from college. And even though he was in Jalen's life since he was about like 10 to 12 years old, yeah, I could see how Jalen never really felt like he was a father figure because you didn't even step up and marry my mom when you could have and when you should have. You was just living in sin, Mr. Martin Luther King Jr., with my mama for forever until I graduated college that she paid for me to go through, and then she paid for you to go to law school. After you was able to solidify those financial obligations from her to you, then you decided you wanted to marry her because she was financially investing in a relationship that you had no effort to, because wasn't you still getting a divorce? Oh, okay, yeah, he was never gonna look at you as a father figure. You not nobody father for real. Even Kimmy was helping with your son with college applications. Why would anybody consider you a father figure besides the fact that you gave seed? Like, you not Jalen's father figure. You is a mentor. And honestly, being a mentor is a high honor. Ask the Fletchers. Because the minute you say that they not a mentor, they get pissed off. So being a mentor is actually a vital, an honorable position in somebody's life, especially a young black man. Young black men are in desperate need of mentors, let alone father figures. They need mentors. They do need mentors. They do need counselors. They do need doctors. They do need teachers. They do need older brothers. They do need OGs. They don't always need fathers, because those people can be surrogates. You were a surrogate. Whether you were his father figure or his mentor, you were a surrogate parent to him because you are not his biological father. Look at Ken and Marquez. Marquez is their biological father, but Ken wants to be their father figure. You ain't doing the stuff that Ken is doing. So nobody would consider you a father figure in anyone's life. You can't sit here and try to gaslight this young man and say, well, you turned out great. You turned out good. Why are you just upset that I didn't play catch with you in the yard? Because you didn't play catch with me in the yard, nigga. Like, what is you talking about? You can't get mad that I wanted quality time with you more than you telling me to take out the trash. You telling me to do all these chores at my mama house that I was already doing, when your son who living here, coming and going, because you, whenever he with us, you with us, and your son here in my mama house not doing nothing. I'm just be like, oh yeah, this is my older brother who telling me to do shit. Ain't nobody finna take you serious. Then we get to the scene with Ken, Will, and Chris Fletcher. Chris Fletcher and Will is sitting there listening to Ken tell his lies, and immediately the friend is like, Ken, that boy walked in the door with his daughter and helped his daughter, didn't he? And Ken's like, no, because Trisha said, and Will's like, yeah, Trisha said that. But are you logically thinking when she says these things, hearing both sides and saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to 100% believe Trisha? Which he got. We understand, because that's your woman. You're going to defend your woman. You're going to sit beside her. Respect. But you can't just outright believe her knowing that she lied. She's lied to you about sleeping with other men. You cannot just sit here and believe that. Will and Chris is just like, at some point, you just might have to take yourself out of the situation. You are looking at this as a challenge, and this is not going to fare well for you, my guy. This is going to end up blowing up in your face, because Trish and Marquez is not divorced yet as of the episode. So do not sit here and try to place yourself in a position to be like, I'm going to step in and I'm going to be that guy, when at the end of the day, you won't be, because they're still married. You're going to have to remove yourself at some point. You cannot sit here and just say, it's him, he's the problem, when in actuality, it isn't the problem when it comes to y'all's family dynamic. The problem with Marquez comes when it comes to you and Trish's relationship. Has nothing to do with the kids. I agree. Nothing to do with those kids. The only thing that has to do with the kids is the fact that you don't want him around, because you want those kids to look at you and you only as the man in their life, so Marquez can't come in and replace you. There's something that needs to be done. There's something that needs to be done, Ken. And your friend is trying to tell you, he told you last season. He's telling you this season. Will he tell you next season? Remove yourself. Help yourself. Love yourself. Why are you still here fighting with her husband? Because she don't want to do right by the divorce. And then when she does, he don't like it. And then when he does, she don't like it. And they constantly fighting. And it's going back and forth. And then you the one that got to get physical. You're going to go to jail. You just take a step back. It's the fact that Marquez got fired from the show when Ken and Trisha are the one that's constantly going up on him. Like, it's just so mind-blowing to me. It's just so mind-blowing to me. Like, so at the end, we get to a family Scott dinner that The two, like, I can't even say that nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. They like Marceau. They like Tisha's looks. Nobody likes Kimmy and Maurice. I think the only people that people kind of like is the Fletchers, and they still feel some type of way of how the Fletchers low-key abandoned Mel last season for Martell, but then now this season they echoing everything Mel done said about Martell and the rest of these people. We're at the Scott's dinner, and they just bring up the Jalen situation and the whole family business. Everybody's against the family business because everybody's like, Maurice, you are a tyrant. You want to be a dictator and tell these people to do all these things and then be like, actually, I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to be the leader. Y'all don't want direction. Y'all don't want to be led. Nobody minds being led, but they want their leader to actually take part in the work. Even Marceau was pretending to do work when he was up on that crane thing. What are you going to do when it comes to this business? Then they get into the fact that Jalen doesn't think of Maurice as a father figure and he thinks of Marceau as one. And they go to another fake weird scene where it's just giving Jalen is forgetting his lines and Marceau doesn't know how to respond because Jalen's saying the wrong lines. And they're going back and forth. And Maurice is just like, how he consider you a dad and not me? And everybody's like, because he's more hands-on. Even Kimmy is like, your brother more hands-on with my son than you. And I'm the one all night. I'm the one rolling over and taking it. I have to roll over and take it when I have cancer and you can't even be hands-on with my son. But that says everything about Kimmy as well. Because Kimmy, you rolled over and take it for a man who you knew your son didn't consider as a father. And you still stayed with him. You still laid with him every night for 7 years without him marrying you and him going through his divorce for however long. You still married him after your son graduated college and didn't feel no type of way about him. You still are married to this man who constantly has had cheating rumors about him and cheating on you. You are still married to him. So you can't sit here and say, I feel for Jalen. I understand where Jalen's going through and I want to protect him when you are the one who's married to the man that's low-key his op. You're low-key married to his op. Not even low-key married. You are married to his op. You are married to his op. You're married to his homeboy. The guy who came in, slept with his mom, told him to do chores, and then was like, yeah, when my son comes, he ain't got to do none of that. You gonna do it all because you're the oldest. And this your mama house, not mine, not my son's. You're gonna do it all. And Kimmy still married him. And then Maurice is like, Marceau, you saying all this stuff, you over here getting mad because I'm getting defensive and you always getting defensive. Marceau is like, Maurice, you always the one that's trying to defend yourself. You a whole lawyer, my dude. What is you talking about? And Maurice is like, well, Marceau, you're a liar. You always lie. You lie about everything. What does he lie about, Maurice? The linebackers, Vegas, you having Kimmy as a side chick, him cheating on Tisha in Vegas, in Atlanta, with the 20 women, with the linebackers, liking Mel. What does Marceau lie about? Why did Tisha tell people to go to her IG Live instead of doing it on the show that she's getting paid to be on? Nobody's going to Tisha's IG Live. Your IG Live, did you save it? Did you save your IG Live? So we could even go back to watch it? Why we got to go to your Instagram that editing didn't even put on? Editing put all them clips of Jalen saying he don't consider Maurice a father figure. All those clips of Chris Fletcher saying that your husband and Kimmy's husband would tell a man to get an NDA for a scallywag that he cheated on. They showed the clips of y'all talking down on Mel. They showed the clips of this. They showed the clips of Destiny feeling some type of way about Nell and Sonny and Maur. What the man name is? Moses. It's everybody, all the men on here names start with an M if you an adult, except Ken. What does Marceau lie about, Maurice? Please tell the congregation. Because we ain't going to the IG Live. You're getting paid to be on the show. This is why people say y'all not transparent. Because you're getting paid to be on the show and you still tell people to go to your Instagram. Girl, that's all I got for today. Please let me know what you guys think about the episode in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Make sure to share this video with everybody you know. And I will be back in the next one ready to just go in again. All right? I love you all. And I comment back. So please comment. Please comment on the video. Please like the video. Please share the video. It helps me. It helps you. You find other stuff that you like. We all find things that we like when we like and share and comment, right? Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.